Hello everyone, my name is Greg and I dev stuff. Welcome everyone to episode 3 of Unity for beginners. In this episode we will learn about functions and how to use them. This episode is brought to you by generous support of people on Patreon. If you want to join them, link to my Patreon in the description. In C#, a function is a way of packaging code that does something and then returns the value, and if needed can accept parameters. Using method, we can describe something you want your program to do, and then we will be able to call it at any moment in the application. So to create a function inside the class, we need to input the type which this function will return, the name of the function by which we will be able to call it, and then parameters it will accept. Let's create the simplest function. Void type means this function will not return anything. Let's call this function postMessage, and it will accept no parameters, so leave brackets empty. Now we want to describe what this function will do. We do this inside those brackets. Inside post into the debug log some kinda message. Good, we just described the function, now we have to call it from somewhere. Let's call it onStart. But it is pretty crowded in the start right now. So let's comment out everything we have here by using the multi-line comment. Everything inside this area will be counted as a comment and not be executed. Call the newly created method by its name. Good, as you can see, because you called the function, it executed what is placed inside the body of this function. If nothing is showing in your debug log, make sure you have a script attached to the main camera. If we call this function multiple times, it will post debug message multiple times. Good, now let's expand on this. What if we want to tell our function exactly what we want to say in our debug log? So we want to pass a string with our message to our method. This parameter will be available to use inside your method. Now if you want to call this method, you have to pass the string inside the brackets. You can do that by passing string directly, or by passing a string variable, which we already have declared. Let's see. Good. Imagine you are making an accounting software and want to have a function which will make a sum of two numbers, and then return this sum for us to use. Make the function that will return the value of type integer, because we will be returning the sum of two integer parameters. Inside, declare a new integer variable. Summarize two past parameters. And return this variable. We are telling our function to return the newly created variable, which stores the sum of two integers we passed as a parameter. Now on the start, let's call this function, pass two integers we want to sum, and then store what this function will return into the variable. Then post this variable into our postMessage method. But our variable is integer, so simply call toString on it to convert it to string type. Good, as you can see, it works. Besides calling the functions from the start, we can call functions in the function. So how about we make a new method, which will calculate sum of two integers and then pass returned value to the postMessage method. We can replace this with just this new method. And let's test this. Good. You might notice that I start calling this new method as method, not as the function. It is a weird topic, to be honest with you, but if I simplify it, functions calculate or execute something. Meanwhile, methods call functions to do what they do. So we have an ability to sum and post message. But what if you want to make a random number to be generated for you? Let's say you are making a dice roller between 1 to 6. So let's create a new method called rollDice with two integer parameters, min and max. Then inside we want to use random range to generate random number between past, min and max parameter. Then post the random value into the debug log. We have a small issue here. You see, because half the random number calculation is happening, it will make it so your max value will never be reachable. So if you say from 1 to 6, it will cause the game to never roll 6, because the random number is infinitely trying to reach the number 6. So to fix this small strange anomaly, we will simply add 1 to our max value. This way you will have numbers inside the range you specified when you pass them as a parameter. So now, if we will be launching our game, it will be generating random numbers between the range we passed. Good, this is it for this episode. If you have any questions or any ideas about code, please leave your comment below. If you are interested in seeing what will come out of this, please subscribe. If you want to support further, you can find my Patreon in the description. Special thank you to Cameron Smith for his generous support. With best regards, see you in the next episode.